Released this morning online, a new health and physical education curriculum in place for elementary students, and it includes some changes to how sex ed will be taught in the classroom. Of course, we know that was an interesting topic, a contentious topic for many. Let's bring in our Cynthia Mulligan, City News political specialist, who is standing by at Queen's Park. Cyn, what is your initial reaction to this, and how different is it from what the Liberals had introduced? Good morning.
Good morning, Mal. Well, first of all, it's very similar to the sex ed curriculum that Premier Doug Ford repealed. It was one of his first acts once he became Premier. So he repealed Kathleen Wynne, the former Liberal government sex ed curriculum, which they introduced in 2015, that had a huge backlash from social conservatives. Many parents in Thorncliffe, for example, were pulling their children out of school. This is walking an interesting fine line because it's very similar to the Liberal curriculum. However, it's delaying some of the more contentious topics, such as gender identity. Prior, it was taught in grade 6. Now it's going to be taught in grade 8. And if you want an indication of how it's being received, look at Charles McVitie. He is an evangelical leader in the community, and he came very much out against the Wynne curriculum. In fact, there were massive protests held here at Queen's Park on a number of occasions against the sex ed curriculum, which he initiated. He came out in full support of this today. Now, he and Doug Ford are quite close and have had a lengthy relationship. But it's an interesting line because the social conservatives under Tanya Granick-Allen are really the ones who helped Doug Ford come into power. She shifted her support to him as leader. That's how he edged out over Christine Elliott. So this has been a very contentious issue and has really adjusted how politics play out in this province.
Very interesting. Cyn, I want to get your take on, outside of the sex ed portion of the curriculum, looking at cannabis, vaping, and bumping up the grades on when they're going to be learning about bullying. What is your take on that and the reason behind it?
Well, I think that they've done a lot of consultations. I think that they were trying to make it more than just changing gender identity 2 years later. So they've strengthened up a lot of things. Of course, cannabis is now legal, so there's a greater emphasis on teaching that. Right now, on the second floor, there's actually a briefing going on with people from the Ministry of Education. So I've just stepped out to talk to you about this, and then I'm going to go duck back in and ask some more questions about it. I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to read the entire thing fully, but I will by 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock when we go to air tonight.
Okay, Cynthia, we won't take up too much more of your time now. I know you've got to get inside. Appreciate it this morning. Thank you, and make sure you follow with Cynthia this evening. We should also let you know the NDP education critic is actually holding a press conference at 10:30, which citynews.ca will carry as well.